All right, so my name is Shan Wright. I'm a registered nurse, holistic life coach, and the host of the Top 2% podcast, Beat Nurse Burnout. And I'm hosting today with Xana Foley, who is a fitness professional, anti-aging specialist, and holistic business consultant. Xana and I have been friends and working together in the wellness space for about 6 years. And we're really excited to partner together today and bring you this exciting conversation. So first, we're going to dream a little bit. Imagine it's the end of 2026 and you wake up before your alarm feeling rested, clear-headed, no brain fog, your joints feel loose and comfortable, your clothes fit well, your energy is strong. Even those jeans buried in the back of your closet, the ones you haven't seen in years, slide on easily. You walk past the mirror and actually think, wow, I did it. At your next doctor's appointment, your labs look better than ever, your blood sugar's stable, blood pressure is perfect, energy's up, and that constant obsession with food is gone. You're not white knuckling your way through another diet program, but you're simply living and you're playing with your kids or your grandkids, you're serving at church, you're hiking, you're walking, you're having recreation activities with this new energy. You're stepping into things that you care about, maybe even a business or a ministry God has placed on your heart. You have a new passion for life. This is what most people really want. Not just weight loss, but a body that feels strong and healthy again and to live it on purpose. So the good news is this can absolutely be your story. Imagine, imagine that is your story. Okay. So let's believe that for a second as we go through the rest of these slides. And one quick question that you can put in the chat. If you can improve one thing about your health by the end of 2026, what would it be? Sorry, I had a heater on now I'm hot. Okay, let's talk about why most diets fail. So this is the cycle many people experience. The rapid weight loss, slower metabolism, hormone disruption, and eventually the weight comes back on. Often your metabolism is actually slower than before, and your body is now working harder to store fat because of the extreme, unsustainable methods that were used. This leaves people discouraged and hopeless, kind of. So let me ask you something. How many of you have ever completed a diet or exercise program successfully, but within the same year gained back the weight and maybe even more? Put it in the chat. So here's the truth. If the results weren't maintainable, the program wasn't truly successful. And I want you to know something important. There is nothing wrong with you. The problem isn't willpower or discipline. The problem is biological, combined with unsustainable habits. How many of you have ever done, oh, I already just asked that. So then I will ask, put that in the chat. Type me in the chat if you have done a diet and gained back the weight. Would love to know. Okay, so now we're living in this age. These may look familiar to you, the age of medications, Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, all the things. But many people don't know the interesting story behind how these drugs were discovered. Scientists were studying the venom of a poisonous lizard called the Gila monster, and they discovered that its venom contained a similar compound to a hormone in our bodies that's already being produced by our bodies called GLP-1. They discovered this discovery eventually led to medications like semaglutide. These drugs turned out to be so powerful for blood sugar regulation and weight loss that in 2023, Science magazine named GLP-1 obesity drugs the scientific breakthrough of the year. So quick poll in the chat. Again, I told you we're going to use it lots. How many of you know someone personally who has taken Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro? Or maybe it's you. No shame, just it's information, it's data, it's what's going on. So just put it. So this is real because the conversation is everywhere right now. So let's talk about what these medications actually do. They slow digestion. They slow the increased feeling of fullness, reduce cravings, and help regulate your blood sugar. And one of the ways they do this is by slowing how quickly the food leaves the stomach. Because digestion slows, people feel fuller longer and they naturally eat less. However, slowing digestion that much can sometimes have major side effects. People can experience nutrient absorption issues, constipation is a big one, or digestive problems like SIBO. And while some may lose weight, that doesn't always mean their overall health is improved. So the question, I'm putting on you. Okay. Okay. So the question becomes, I'm frozen again. I'm not sure. Oh, I keep freezing. I don't know if I'm freezing for you guys, but for me, I am.
You were for us, but you're back now.
Okay. Okay. So the question becomes, how can we support the body in creating these same benefits naturally and sustainably without the negative side effects? Right? Okay. So there's another important concern that researchers are seeing. In one analysis, people taking the semaglutide lost about 6.3% of their body weight. But when protein intake was low, a large amount of that weight came from muscle loss, especially in older women. Some studies have shown as much as 40 to 50% of the weight loss was muscle. And that matters because muscle is incredibly important for your health and longevity, a long life. So, muscle supports metabolism, strength, insulin sensitivity, and healthy aging. And one of the biggest reasons older adults experience early loss of independence is simply weakness. Things like falls and hip fractures, and then they're dependent on others. So, protecting muscle must always be a part of the weight loss strategy. So, quick question again, did you know muscle loss could be that high with weight loss medications? Did you know that you could lose 40 to 50% of your weight loss could be muscle? Okay, so another issue people sometimes notice is that they lose weight, but they don't necessarily love the way they look now. When muscle is lost along with fat, areas like the face and glutes can appear gaunt or depleted. You may have heard the terms Ozempic face or Ozempic butt, and these phrases have become common because people are noticing these changes, and in some cases, even seeking cosmetic procedures afterwards. The takeaway here is that weight loss alone is not the goal. Healthy weight loss should support strength, muscle, and overall vitality. Okay, so here's the really encouraging part. GLP-1 is actually a hormone that your body produces naturally. Your body already has the ability to regulate your appetite, your energy, and your blood sugar through this system. And the release of GLP-1 responds strongly to lifestyle factors such as protein intake, fiber, gut health, sleep, and physical activity. These everyday habits can help support the same pathways people are trying to target with the medications. And that's what we're going to focus on today. Looking at these 5 things, I would love to know, which one do you think you struggle with the most? Protein, fiber, gut health, sleep, or movement? Just type the word in the chat. Would love to know your biggest struggle right now. So the real question isn't how fast can I lose 20 pounds? The better question is, how do I build the kind of metabolism, habits, and hormonal balance that allows my body to release weight naturally, decrease inflammation naturally, while staying strong and healthy long term? That is what the next section is all about. We're going to walk through some practical ways you can support your body's natural GLP-1 levels, signaling and creating a lifestyle that works for the long term. Okay, so the number 1 tip is protein. If you remember one nutrition rule from today, let it be this, and this may be shocking, but aim for about 40 grams of protein at each meal, especially breakfast. So protein is a critical step and nutrient because it helps preserve muscle while supporting your metabolism and blood sugar stability and a million other things in your body. When we eat protein, our body breaks it down into amino acids, and these amino acids help build and maintain muscle, repair tissue, stabilize blood sugar, increase thermogenesis, which means your body burns more calories during digestion. And when protein intake is too low, the body will actually break down the muscle to get the amino acids that it needs. And that slows the metabolism and it makes long-term weight loss much harder. So just to give you a visual, 40 grams of protein could look like about 5 to 6 ounces of salmon, 5 to 6 ounces of steak, 4 to 5 ounces of chicken, or 6 eggs. Now, for many people, that feels like a lot. Like, who would eat 6 eggs for breakfast? So, quick question. How many grams of protein do you think you currently eat at breakfast? So just drop a number in the chat, even if you're completely guessing. We would love to know that answer and see if it lines up with the common answer. So here's the science behind why protein works so well. GLP-1 is released from specialized cells in the intestine called L cells. When protein is digested, amino acids reach those cells and trigger the GLP-1 release. That hormone then sends signals to your brain that you're full and it regulates your blood sugar. So if meals are low in protein, that signal is weaker. So hormones are chemical messengers. Think of them like that. So you want the chemical message to go off to your brain that you're full. But when your protein's low, that message doesn't get communicated properly and the signal is low and weaker, which makes people feel hungry because the signal never went off that you're full, and then they eat more. So protein essentially strengthens your body's natural satiety signaling system. So in real life, we all know that understanding nutrition and actually doing it every day and following those nutritional rules are two very different things. Most people understand protein is important, but hitting those protein targets consistently can be really challenging with busy schedules in our lives today. So that's where these very simple tools can come in. One option many people love is the Life Shake. Each serving provides 20 grams of complete protein along with all essential amino acids your body needs, including leucine, which plays a key role in muscle maintenance and metabolic health. It also contains 6 grams of fiber and prebiotics, which support gut health and help strengthen satiety signals. So when protein, fiber, and amino acids are combined together like this, it helps support the body's natural appetite regulation systems. In clinical testing, LifeShake was actually known to increase GLP-1 levels within 30 minutes, which helps support fullness and reduce cravings. So another convenient option is sparkling protein. This is a ready-to-drink beverage that provides 40 grams. So this is a meal, 40 grams of protein in a single can, which makes it very easy to reach your daily protein goals. The amino acids in sparkling protein are rapidly absorbed and remain elevated for several hours, allowing your body to use them for muscle support, tissue repair, energy, and immune health. Research also shows that high quality protein intake like this can support a strong and sustained rise in GLP-1. So the key takeaway here is that whole foods should always be the foundation, but convenient options like LifeShake and sparkling protein can make it much easier for people to consistently reach the protein intake that supports metabolism, satiety, and overall health. Personally, these actually are two of the tools I use regularly in my own routine. So chat, I would love to know, do you currently struggle to get enough protein? Type yes or no in the chat. Remember, actually, I'm not sure we even discussed it, but you should be getting half your goal weight. No, you should be getting your goal weight in protein grams a day. So if your goal weight is 130, you should be getting 130 grams of protein. So do you struggle to get that amount or 40 grams each meal? Would love to know in the chat. All right, so now I'm going to bring in Xana for the next of the habits. Oh, Xana, you're still muted.
Okay, now can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. So glad to be here, guys. I'm Zana, and I'm going to be sharing or starting with habit number 2. We have 11 total habits. I hope you're taking notes and sticking with me. We are going to talk about fiber. So, tip number 2 is fiber, especially soluble fiber and resistant starch. So, what fiber does is it acts as good food for that bacterial gut function, okay? When those bacteria ferment fiber, they produce compounds called short chain fatty acids, which directly stimulate GLP-1 release. So, some of the strongest fiber sources include psyllium husk, flax seeds, acacia fiber, oatmeal, apples, berries, and pomegranates. So we already talked about what a simple day would look like from a protein standpoint, but obviously we need to eat more than protein. So a simple day, including some fibrous foods, might look like your protein plus berries at breakfast or vegetables at lunch. And then vegetables plus healthy fats at dinner, like an avocado, or maybe something like a sweet potato. So, a question for you guys in the chat. Do you think that you're currently getting enough fiber? If you don't know the goal, most adults eat less than half of their daily fiber needs. You need to aim for about 9 to 16 grams per meal. I would say if you're looking at a total day, generally around 35 grams is going to be what you're aiming for. So, what do you think you hit as far as your daily fiber target? Do you think you're almost to 35 or well underneath that? And if you're not sure, you can type that because you may have to practice tracking your fiber. All right, now I'm going to hit habit number 3, and that is probiotics. So the third way to support GLP-1 is by improving your gut health through probiotics. Our gut bacteria play a huge role in metabolism, appetite signaling, and inflammation. There are certain bacteria that help, beneficial bacteria that actually stimulate GLP-1 production. Those are listed on the screen. Not even going to attempt to pronounce them. That's not my specialty, but you can read those beneficial bacteria and some of the ways that you can get those through food. And this is why fermented foods and probiotic supplements can actually be really helpful because you may not be eating the foods on the screen on a regular basis, and that's okay. You can be more strategic in the foods that you're eating, and or you may want to take a supplement. I want your eyes to fall specifically on the Akkermansia, which is spelled wrong. Didn't realize that until now. Akkermansia is something we're going to talk about in just a second, and it's really important, and you cannot get that one from food. Okay, so now we're going to talk about some supplement solutions because just like we discussed with protein, fiber and probiotics are things that you can get in food, but you may need to supplement them. So the bacteria in our gut plays a huge role. We already know in metabolism, appetite signaling, and blood sugar regulation. So one option that we have that supports this pathway is our Good Gut and Go probiotic. And it contains, this is important, it contains the beneficial probiotic strains that we mentioned on that previous screen. So when choosing a probiotic, you want to make sure that you're getting those strains in because that is what is going to help with the production of GLP-1. Another product that we offer is called Curb, and that is a prebiotic fiber. It's called Metabiome, which feeds the beneficial bacteria that are already living in your gut. Researchers are especially interested in bacterium called Akkermansia. So we talked about Akkermansia on the last screen. It was spelled wrong, but it's showing up again for us. And this is sometimes referred to as the lean bacteria because higher levels of Akkermansia have been associated with lean people or people with improved metabolic health and insulin sensitivity. So we want Akkermansia. And that cannot be found in food. This can be found in supplementation. So when these beneficial microbes thrive, they ferment fiber and produce compounds that stimulate satiety signals in the gut, including GLP-1. In clinical research, the Metabiome prebiotic in Curb has actually been shown to increase to support an increase in GLP-1 levels, which is one reason that gut health is such an important part of the conversation. So we need to really be having it. And increasing fermenting foods and probiotic support together is a great way to create an environment in your body where those natural satiety hormones are produced. Sorry, hang on a second. I lost my place. I know you guys are in the right place, but I lost mine. Okay, here we go. Habit number 4, berberine. Who's heard of berberine? Tell me if you've ever heard of this in the chat. This is another compound receiving a ton of attention and metabolic research. It's called berberine. Berberine is a plant compound that has been used for a very long time in traditional medicine. Modern research shows that it may support metabolic health in several ways. It helps to slow down carbohydrate absorption. It helps to improve insulin sensitivity, and it influences the gut microbiome. So, 3 very important functions. In studies involving people with metabolic syndrome or diabetes, berberine has been shown to increase GLP-1 levels while supporting healthy blood sugar metabolism. One product that we have that includes berberine is called Burn. And Burn is cool because it actually has other ingredients that support metabolism as well and energy. And all of that helps support craving control. So this is kind of a little cheap product for us. It includes something called fucoxanthin, a coastal seaweed extract that's been studied for its role in fat oxidation, as well as chromium, which supports healthy blood sugar glucose levels and reduced cravings. So together, these ingredients kind of support those pathways involved in metabolism, energy production, blood sugar balance, etc. So this is a very helpful cheat code product that we can use to help get things moving in the right direction. Okay, habit number 5, bitter foods. So this is another interesting pathway. Many traditional herbs with metabolic benefits have this natural bitter taste. Things like bitter melon, gentian, artichokes, dandelion or dandelion tea, but even bitter greens like arugula. So that bitter taste, when we eat them, stimulates digestive pathways that can help trigger satiety signals. I've never in my life had bitter melon. Don't even know what gentian is, to be totally honest with you. I've had artichoke before, not on a regular basis, and I've maybe have had dandelion tea, but again, this isn't a regular thing. One simple way that I like to incorporate bitter foods in my diet is just when I am choosing my salad greens, choosing something like arugula to put in or add to my salad so that I can get those, so I can support those pathways. And then dandelion tea is probably another easy one. This one's a little bit more challenging because those aren't things that we eat on the reg. Okay, we are on to habit number 6, healthy fats. Healthy fats also support metabolic signaling. Omega-3 fats in particular help support GLP-1 activity and improve insulin sensitivity. So here are some great sources of healthy fats: salmon, sardines, mackerel, walnuts, chia seeds, and flax seeds. And if you remember chia seeds and flax seeds, those were also on our probiotic slide. So we can double up and kill a couple birds with one stone. Extra virgin olive oil is actually one of my favorites. It's so powerful because it contains something called polyphenols, which we're about to talk about again. I want you to remember the word polyphenol. And these support metabolic signaling. In the chat, I want to know from you guys, how many servings of fatty fish do you eat per week? The reason I'm asking that is because fatty fish is a great way to get in healthy fats, but to be honest, that's not something that we even eat regularly in our house. So we've got to get creative. I want to know, do you have 1 serving of fatty fish a week, 2, 3? What do you guys do in your home? All right, we are moving on to habit number 7, polyphenols. I told you to remember this word. It's important. This is habit number 7. So polyphenols are powerful plant compounds that act as antioxidants. They help protect our cells against stress and feed beneficial gut bacteria. Polyphenols are found in foods like berries. We saw that in the fiber screen. Green tea, matcha, coffee, cacao, and pomegranates. We've also seen pomegranates, so we're seeing some trends here. Even small daily choices like eating berries at breakfast or choosing dark chocolate with at least 70% cacao instead of sugary desserts can help support metabolic health. So make sure you write some of those down because polyphenols are powerful and important. But just like with protein and gut health, some people find it helpful to use simple tools that make it easier to consistently get these nutrients in. And Shan, will you go to the next slide? Thank you. One example is our Omega Guard, which provides highly purified omega-3 fatty acids, EPA and DHA. So this is something that I take daily. I take the Omega Guard that's on the left. Shan takes the omega-3s on the right. Those are actually doing the same thing. It's just a matter if you want a pill form or a chewable. The ones on the right are more family friendly and they are delicious. The Omega Guard, I take 3 Omega Guard a day because, like I said, we only eat fatty fish maybe, if I'm being honest, 2 times a month. So I know that I don't get enough healthy fats in my diet, even though I am a big extra olive oil fan. So that's just a really easy way for me to get it in. But these fats support cardiovascular health, brain function, healthy inflammation balance, and research also shows that omega-3s can support insulin sensitivity and metabolic health. When we talk about polyphenols, though, we have a really cool product called Vivix, which delivers a concentrated blend of polyphenols from fruits like grapes and berries. Of course, if you were to eat a bunch of grapes and berries, you might get some polyphenols, but not in this concentrated amount. And of course, they also have sugar. So it's wise to take a supplement like this because you're not getting the sugar, but you're still getting the benefit of the polyphenols. And honestly, guys, this is one of my favorite supplements of all time. I recommend it to everyone because polyphenols support cellular health and they help to nourish that beneficial gut bacteria. One interesting study was actually done on the Vivix, which is so fascinating to me. And it showed that when participants consumed Vivix alongside a high fast food meal, so we actually call this the McDonald's study because they actually consumed McDonald's, but it was a high fast food diet. Inflammatory markers that normally spike, of course, after you eat that type of meal were significantly reduced. They didn't even like maintain, they were reduced. So it's super fascinating, this demonstration of how powerful these plant compounds can be in supporting the body's response to stress and inflammation. And honestly, so many of us are combating stress and inflammation, and this is a really, really great tool. So these are some ideas for you if you feel like you need a supplement option. All right, this is my favorite habit number 8, strength training. If you know me, if you follow me on social media, you see this is like 90% of what I share because I'm obsessed. Strength training is one of the most powerful ways to support metabolic health. When you lift weights, your muscles become more insulin sensitive. That means that your body can clear glucose from the bloodstream more efficiently, which is what you want. Muscles literally act like a metabolic savings account. The more muscle you have, the easier it is to maintain a healthy metabolism as you age. But unfortunately, adults lose up to 3 to 5% of muscle per decade after age 40 if they aren't strength training. I want you to think about that. Think about this and remember this. Muscle is metabolism. If you are losing muscle, which you are, if you're over 40 and you're not strength training, you are losing your metabolism. We've got to preserve that. So what if you're not able to do an hour workout every day, but what if you could do 2 short workouts per week, 30 minutes? I would love to know in the chat, how many days currently do you strength train? Whether it's 20 minutes or whether it's an hour, I want to know in the chat if you're strength training. Okay, habit number 9, good news. Walking is another incredible habit. And the reason I say that it's good news is because it's simple. Walking is an extremely powerful tool. Every step that you take activates hundreds of muscles and will help pull glucose out of your bloodstream. Muscle concentration opens transporters called GLUT4, which act like little doors, allowing sugar to move into the muscle where it can actually be used for energy, which is what we need. Historically, humans walked around 10,000 steps per day, but guess what? Today, the average is closer to 3,000. 15,000. And adding just 20 to 40 minutes of walking per day can dramatically improve insulin sensitivity. So, who in this chat right now tracks their steps? And if you track your steps, how many do you get a day? I am curious to know. If you want to know mine, my goal is 13,000 to 15,000 steps per day. And I really only take one longish walk. A lot of those are tiny little walks around my block that take me literally 5 minutes just to move my body. Okay, next habit here. Fasting. Shannon should be talking about this because she's the fasting queen, but it's on my slide, so I'll talk about it. This is another really powerful tool. Guys, here's the thing. I want you to think about every single time you take a bite, lick, taste, or sip of something, you are spiking insulin. Okay. And there are some foods that spike it less than others. So I'm not saying we shouldn't eat it all. But when we are constantly eating, licking, biting, tasting, sipping throughout the day, our insulin just stays elevated 24/7. All of us should have periods of time during our day when we are drinking or eating nothing but water, because these periods without food allow insulin to drop and they help the body become more metabolically flexible. Fasting can also influence gut hormones like GLP-1 and akkermansia. So again, those things we need, fasting is going to help them. Many people just start with something simple like a 12-hour fast at night. Guys, that's cutting your dinner off at 7 and not eating again until 7 o'clock the next morning. We can all do that. And others may occasionally extend that window. I know Shan chooses a day every single week that she fasts. I think Friday might be her day. I don't know if she's changed that, but she'll fast for 24 hours, dinner to dinner. I actually fast for about 15 hours at night. I love eating an early dinner around 4 p.m. and then eating breakfast again the next day at 7 a.m. That's my form of fasting. And then I'll occasionally, maybe quarterly, do a longer fast. But guys, fasting is so good for us. So I have a chat question for you. Are you currently practicing any type of fasting, even if it's just a 12-hour fast at night? Let's see what you guys do in the chat. Okay, another powerful tool. This is our last tip. Man, did we move today? And I am so proud of that. Habit number 11, prioritizing good sleep. And I just happen to know that there are people in here that need to read this slide because I read the chat already and I saw that this was a huge struggle, and you're not alone. This is a huge struggle for so many of us. So sleep supports our metabolic health so much. It helps to regulate appetite hormones, lower cortisol, improve insulin sensitivity, and support overall hormonal balance. One simple principle that I like to use is to follow the sun. Getting natural early light in your eyes early in the day is so smart. And then gradually dimming the lights in the evening as the sun is going down, you're kind of dimming the lights in your home, in your life. You're turning off your phones. You're not staring at screens. It always cracks me up when people talk about how much they struggle with their sleep and then they admit to scrolling their phones at night. That is not going to help support your sleep at all. So we've got to dim our lights, wear blue blockers if we must, but it would be ideal to just put our electronics down at night and start to create a calming bedtime routine that supports your hormones. And this will make a big difference. So if you do need support when you sleep, one of the best things that you can consider is a supplement that supports your nervous system naturally by helping it to wind down without actually using melatonin. And here's why. Melatonin, again, is a hormone that your body makes. I think we're seeing a trend here. Our body makes these hormones, but we mess with them by trying to give them synthetic versions. Okay. And so rather than supplementing with something like melatonin, how about we teach your body to make more of it on its own? And we're going to do that through what, like I already mentioned, dimming our lights, quieting our life. That's all going to stimulate melatonin production. And you can rely on a sleep supplement like our Rest and Rewind tea because it has calming botanicals that help to relax the nervous system without relying on melatonin. So we're not telling your body, hey, you don't really have to make melatonin because I'm going to give it to you in a synthetic form. I'm not going to allow you to be dependent on it. I'm just going to help you to naturally relax that nervous system. So that's a very incredible tool that can be used if you need it, in addition to the suggestions that I already mentioned. Okay, we've shared a lot of options today, and I hope that you have learned some new habits. I hope that you've maybe thought of a couple supplements that you think that are going to serve you. This is a program that is a very quick reboot, okay? So we've talked a lot of these about these principles, but this program works through several of the mechanisms that we've talked about in supporting the natural GLP-1 signaling. And one thing I love about it is that it is a partial fast. So you're going to eat and you're going to eat all day long, but we're not taking in a lot of calories, which gives our digestive system a break. It simplifies meals and introduces structured eating windows, which help to improve insulin sensitivity. And it also emphasizes adequate protein intake, 105 grams a day. So if you look at the screen and you see that little box, it has a number 5 on it. You're literally going to get a box for each day. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. And each day is filled with products that all together support GLP-1 levels, metabolic health, fiber intake, but most importantly, protein. Everything in the box makes up 105 grams of protein a day, which helps to preserve muscles and support satiety hormones. It also incorporates, like I said, probiotic and gut supporting nutrients, which are going to help to strengthen the microbiome pathways, and it's going to help with appetite regulation. Because your protein intake remains high while your calories are controlled, the body is actually encouraged to burn stored fat while protecting the lean muscle. It gives you a really simple plan to follow. And honestly, both my clients are on the screen. My clients see anywhere between 6 and 12 pounds on this program. It is very impactful. It gives you a very quick boost. So overall, I love how this program supports a lot of the pathways that we discussed today, including protein intake, gut health, blood sugar balance, and metabolic signaling. Okay. As we wrap up, because we're bringing this in for a landing here. Let's come back to the big picture. Friends, let's just remember this. The goal is not chasing the newest trend. The goal is not to get skinny. The goal is helping your body to function the way that it was designed to. And when we provide the right inputs, fiber, protein, movement, sleep, gut support, all of those things are going to naturally promote the things that we're looking for, and our systems are going to begin to work properly again. And I know we've shared a lot, and you might feel like, wow, that's a lot of things that are shared today. Guess what? You don't have to do it all at once. You don't. You can do one habit at a time. So if you're sitting there thinking, okay, this is great, this makes sense, I still feel a little unsure about what a full day of eating looks like, or what habit I should incorporate first, or how this, works in a full day or even a full month. Shannon, I completely understand that. And that's why we have created a free GLP-1 supportive eating guide. So if you are interested in that, what I'm going to encourage you to do is on the screen, you're going to see our phone numbers. It doesn't matter who you text because Shan and I are besties and we both have access to this guide. So if you text either Shan or myself, you are going to get a free guide that shows you literally what Shan and I eat every day, or not every day, but this is an example day, so that you can have that for your back pocket when you feel lost or confused. And it's going to really help you to walk through some of the habits and lifestyle choices that we've talked about today. So we're going to leave that up here for just a second so that you can jot down our number or just text us right now before you forget, and we'll send you a free guide.